All right, now we're recording. Cool. So we left off at me saying you attract what you are, and your track record doesn't show too well for yourself. So what makes you think this one would last? So continue.
I don't remember where I left off there, but you're I'm not sure where you got the you attract yourself thing, because everything I've ever read or learned was more of you attract like your parents or more of what's opposite of you. So a little confused on where you got the
When
you
I say
attract.
you attract what you are, I'm saying you're attracting unsuccessful situations
Yeah.
because you have not had successful situations in your life so far. So you
Yeah.
don't have anything to compare what a successful situation looks like. And so
Yeah.
if you keep doing that with your logic that you mentioned that some guys are not going to do X, Y, and Z. And if that doesn't fit me, then I'm going to go to someone else who will do those. Well, inevitably, with your logic, that means that every single situation you run into are potentially unsuccessful.
Yeah.
So if you don't have
Well,
anything good to base anything on to make the next judgment or the next decision, then what even is the point to be in a relationship? Might as well just have fuck buddies at that point, right? Because you said it doesn't matter if you have your own children or if you adopt.
yeah.
Well, you don't necessarily even need to be with someone to adopt a kid. You can adopt by yourself.
Yeah. And if it comes to the point and I end up doing that, then I end up doing that. I just I can't say that this relationship is going to be forever, and I can't say that this relationship isn't going to be forever. But if this relationship isn't forever, then I can move on and find a new relationship, or I cannot move on and find a new relationship. It doesn't really matter. Like, it matters which decision I make, but it also doesn't matter which decision I make, because I'm going to make the decision that I feel like is right for me at the time. And if that decision ends up not being right for me at the time, which I have made plenty of decisions that weren't good decisions, but we all do. It's a normal human thing. And it just, it doesn't work. I'll deal with the next thing that's after that. Just
So
like
decisions have consequences, right? That can follow you.
yeah,
You agree to that? Okay. So the decisions you made in the past to mess around with the seven other guys or six other guys, however many I forgot, um, those had consequences that still follow you to this day because from those you have some sort of trauma. Am I right or am I right?
yeah, you are right about that.
Okay, so if you keep going down this path, are you going to acquire more or less trauma?
I could acquire more, I could acquire less.
Well, with
Say
your
this
logic, if you keep
guy.
taking in more and more partners, that inevitably means more and more trauma, right?
Well, I never said I would take in more and more partners, because this could be the guy that I end up marrying, and this could be the guy that I lead the rest of my life with, and that would be great. Sweetest
But
guy in the world.
his track
If
record
it's
doesn't show
not,
much. His track record doesn't show a great result either. So it's safe to say
his
that it's
tracker his track record consists of
no, not with girls, with his life, because so far he doesn't have a good direction in his life either, right?
his direction's a lot better than mine.
You just told me he doesn't know what he wants to do.
Well, it doesn't mean his direction isn't the way it should be. Currently, he's looking at a promotion in his job. No, it's not the job he wants to do for the rest of his life, but it's still a job and it's still a promotion. He, we're looking for an apartment together. We're we're taking the day as we take the day, step by step, minute by minute. We go and we look at apartments that pop up and we see if we like them or if we don't. We put an application in or we don't. It
How's that a sustaining lifelong direction just to look at apartments?
Well, it's not.
I'm not
Our plan is to look at apartments. Our plan is to get in an apartment, move in together, save money so we can move to a new state. We'll get settled there. We will see what colleges and everything's available to us there. Or even before we move to another state, we'll look at what colleges and everything and maybe move to that state for that specific college. Or we'll do whatever it is that
so
we decide
college.
we are going to do.
Right, but you don't know what you want to do that yet, and not you,
No,
but him. I'm talking about him. When you
neither
said
of us really know. He
right,
thinks he might want to be a swim coach because he's an expert swimmer. And if he decides he wants to go to college and do that and get his backgrounds or whatever he needs to do to get that, then that's what he decides. If he decides he wants to be a chef with me, he can be a chef with me. Like,
but
it does.
time is continuously moving though. It's not waiting for him to make a decision, and that's where I'm going at. Is that you mentioned he knows his direction, but you still haven't been able to tell me what direction that is.
It's because I don't know what direction it is, just like I don't
Right,
know which direction I'm gonna take either.
right.
I don't
So
have to
that
make a decision. I don't
right.
have to know what direction I wanna take.
You don't have to know.
I don't have to know yet. I'm only 20. There are
Yeah.
people that I know who are 26, 27, 28, and they're the ones losing. Yes. Yes. They're the ones that are losing their time. That's when you start to run into an issues when you're still doing the same thing that an 18, 19-year-old's doing when you're 26, 27, 28. That's when you start to have an issue. But I'm not even old enough to drink alcohol or go and buy cigarettes, or even for some people to be living out on my own without going to college. I'm supporting myself. I like I'm doing better than some people. I'm not doing as great as others. I don't have any kids yet. I don't have any debts. I don't have a car. I don't have a license. I lost my license because I'm a terrible driver and I kept getting into wrecks. I All of these things are not things that I absolutely have to have figured out yet. Like, yeah, I need to figure out a way to start figuring it out to figure it out. So I'm at the pre-planning before the pre-planning, and I could have a plan if I wanted one, but I haven't made one yet because I don't know what my plan is going to be. I
That's
don't know
great.
what it
But do you think he needs
that
to figure it out now, or does he have
why
time
would
to
he
figure it
have
out
to
too?
figure it out now if I don't have it figured out yet? That wouldn't make any sense. That would make me the
That's a
biggest hypocrite of all.
that's a great question you posed. Why would he have to figure it out if you don't have to figure it out? What? I'm not gonna ask it from that angle because we're not gonna get the right answer. What makes you, or yeah, let's ask that. What do you think makes a man attractive?
Personality.
Besides that, because you can't measure that. What tangible, measurable things do you think makes a man attractive? Because
If they're
personality is kind of like, okay, mine clicks with hers, it doesn't click with his, it doesn't click with theirs. So it's kind of hit or miss. But if you were to quantify something, okay, better yet, let me ask you this. What do you think makes a woman attractive to a man?
What do I think makes a woman attractive to a man?
What
That's
are
gonna
men
depend on
attracted
the
to?
man. That's gonna
Okay,
it The questions that you are asking me, it's going to be dependable. Like it There are so many different variations, so many different
maybe for women, but for men it's not. It's very objective. That's why I'm asking you to see if you know what men want.
only if you're closed-minded is it objective. Only if you're no, they have to be this way, they have to act this way, they have to be exactly the way that I have to have it. No. You have to find somebody and you have to be able to work with them and work with yourself
Those
to
come in
both
after
make each
two,
other
three, four,
better
five.
in your relationship.
Those come in after the very first thing. What's the very first thing that makes a man attracted to a woman? It's
First
very
thing that
obvious. It's
I
very
don't know.
obvious.
For me, okay, I will answer your question. For me, the first thing to make a man attractive to me is if he
No,
can
no,
make
no, 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 no. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying what makes you attractive to a man? What makes women attractive
what
to
makes
us?
me attractive to a man.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some men, the first thing they see is your body. Some men, the first thing they see is your smile. For me, they always tell me it's my eyes. Always.
So you don't know is the right answer, or is that what you would say? Right answer for you that you don't
It's
know.
dependable.
Okay, it's not dependable. That's what I'm asking
It
you.
is dependable.
It's not dependable, but you don't
It
know,
is,
right? Correct? You don't know though, do
I
you?
don't know.
Okay,
I
so
don't.
so would you like me to tell you that? Because I'm a man, so I'm hoping I would know, right?
You might
I'm a
know, but you
I'm a
don't
header.
speak for a man.
I speak for 95% of men, yes, and
I
the other
doubt.
5% are gay, and we don't call them men. The
Oh
number
man.
one thing, the
Oh
number one
my.
thing, we call them males. We don't call them men. There's a difference.
Mhm.
There's a huge difference. Just like how you'd like to say
Okay.
there's a difference between a boy and a man, correct?
I never said that there's a difference between a boy and a man, but yes, there is a
But
difference
don't you
between
think
a
there's
boy
a
and a man.
difference between a boy and a man?
Oh yeah, there's a difference
Okay,
between a boy
same
and a man.
way there's a difference between a heterosexual male and a homosexual male, correct?
Probably. One of them likes women, the other one likes men.
There you go. So that's why we don't call them men. We call them males because they have the organs but not the traits. Anyways, the number one thing that makes okay, you seem confused when I said that they have the organs but not the traits. So you don't
There's
think
plenty of gay males out there that have the same traits as heterosexual males.
like what traits are we talking?
Like they run the household or like
Run the
they're
household in what sense?
the stereotypical personality of a male comes in hetero or gay. Like they come in a
That's the
straight
that's the
form or
typical. That's the
it's
typical.
either. It
That's
doesn't,
either.
there is no typical, there is no normal. There isn't. There's a construct to what this is how we think that you should act, but there isn't. You don't have to act a certain way. You can be who you want to be, do
I'm just
what you
going
do.
based off the numbers because 95% of males are straight. We don't have 95% gay men, gay males. So I'm just going based on that
I,
fact.
I didn't say you weren't. I'm saying that just because they're gay doesn't mean they don't share the same personality traits, doesn't mean that you can't call them men because all men are men. All boys are boys. When
Okay.
you're a boy, you act like a child. You don't know how to treat people. You're
So what differentiate a boy from a
arrogant.
man?
You're arrogant. You don't know how to treat people. You're the typical arrogant boy. The
Arrogance.
typical
You're saying
teenage boy.
you're saying a man cannot be arrogant. If he's arrogant, he's not a man. That's what you're saying.
No, if he's overly arrogant, he can't be a man.
If he's
You can
what?
be arrogant. Everybody's arrogant at a time.
Okay. So
Just
arrogance
like
is
you
the
can be
only trait.
cocky, everyone gets that way. It's when you get an abundance of these emotions that it gets crazy. Like women, we're stereotyped to have this whole load of emotions and we're able to blow up at any point in time that we want to. And yes, there are some of us that can, and there are some of us that can't. If someone's sitting there screaming at me, my first reaction is I'm going to sit here and I'm going to stare at them until they stop screaming at me. And then I'm going to try and speak. And if they start screaming over me again, I'm going to shut up and I'm going to listen to them. I'm going to try and figure out what their points are there so I can try and get the argument to where we can actually sit down and talk about it so they're not just sitting there and screaming at me.
Right. So you're saying arrogance is one of the traits that, or over the top arrogance, one of the traits that differentiates a boy from a man. What else? There has to be other traits, right? I mean, a man just can't have
The way you treat people. If you treat people like I'm better than everybody else and y'all can suck my dick, but no, I'm
that kind of
sorry.
that kind of goes hand in hand with the arrogance part. So give me something else.
Okay, how you are in your relationships. If you, there's no specific way to treat a woman. There's not. Every woman's different, just like every man's different, and you have to adapt and adjust to each other. Hold on. Sorry, Adams.
Okay. Do you have any other traits?
Well, there's plenty of traits.
Okay. So, what are some of the traits that make a female a woman and
Well,
differentiates her from a girl?
don't act like a bitch. There's most of the time it's uncalled for. If not all the time are people trying to come at you, not all the time are people, I'm better than you, or like, don't act like a teenage girl. Like when somebody's like, you're acting like a fucking child, you're not being a woman at that point. You're being a girl. When someone is like, will you sit down and talk to people? Don't just scream at people. Actually listen to what they have to say and then give your opposite points. A lot of people nowadays, they just want you to listen to what they have to say. They want you to give them the answers that they want to hear. They don't want to listen to the answers you actually have to give to them.
So, maturity
Exactly.
is what,
Be able to
okay.
sit down and have a conversation.
What else? You seem to have a lot to say about a man being a man, but
And a woman being a woman, I haven't figured out how to be a woman. The only time
okay.
I've been called that I was acting like a woman was when I was screaming in somebody's face because they wouldn't shut up and let me talk.
So, as a
It's
female, if
like
you
last
haven't figured out how to be a woman yet, what makes you think you have figured out how a man should be?
because I know how I want to be treated by a man. I'm not saying that a man has to be exactly as I say they have to be.
You
They
said
don't.
you said that's
That's
how you
my
want to be
that's
treated.
my yeah.
Right,
I want
right. But
to be treated well.
that's not what makes a man. Just based on that one aspect. There's a whole variety of things that go into it, which is why I said at first that homosexual males are not men, because you are only looking at it from one aspect, which is what you want from that man, from that male. And I'm coming at it at an aspect what I want or what the male wants out of his life. Life is a lot broader than just treating people. That's only one aspect, right?
Yes.
Right. That's why I made that statement that homosexual males are not men. But you can take it or don't. That's up to you. You're more than entitled to hold on to your opinion. So we're not going to go too much into that. So if homosexual males couldn't speak for the rest of them, that leaves 95% of male population. And that's why I said I can speak for them because I'm not a homosexual. I don't know what those guys want, but I am heterosexual. So I can clearly say what the number one thing is that we men want from a woman. And you kind of touched on that, but you're still telling me that you have no idea what the number one thing is. And you still think it's subjective. It's based on the person. It doesn't change. Okay. Well, I might break your heart if I tell you this, or I might not, but you probably already know that. It's very objective, and that is your ass and titties and your looks. That is the number one thing every single man is attracted to a woman for, because that is the number one thing a man has to quantify a woman with. We don't know you, we don't know your personality, we haven't even said hi to you. We're just looking at you, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is the only type of information we can get out of you is what you look like. And vice versa too, right? When you look at a guy, the very first thing comes attraction, because that's where I'm going at it. You're clearly attracted to your fiance right now. If you were not attracted to your fiance, you guys would not be together, correct? Physically attracted, not mentally, not before you even said hi to each other, talk to each other. You had to be physically attracted to him, right? Because there was no other way to know him besides what he looks like. That's the very first step, right?
I actually met him on Tinder.
And he saw his pictures.
He had pictures
Or
of
did he have a
Pokemon.
picture with his cat?
He had pictures of Pokemon.
With what?
Pokemon?
Pokemon. Of
Yes.
him or just the Pokemon?
Just Pokemon.
And you swipe right on that?
Yes.
I find that very hard to believe.
Well, it's Pokemon. If someone is that into Pokemon, it's got to be an interesting conversation. And it was.
You're telling me he had no pictures on his Tinder profile, just Pokemons, and you saw that and you swipe right.
Mm-hmm.
What other information did he have on his bio? His height, any kind of quote?
It had his height. It had,
How
he
tall
said,
is he?
"Hi, I'm just on here to
How
see
tall
where
is he?
things go." He's 6 foot.
He's 6 foot. Okay, bingo. Goes back to my appearance argument that the very first thing you're attracted to is someone's look. Women are
That's,
clearly attracted to taller men, and he had his
I
height
didn't
on
even
there.
look. I didn't even look to see how tall he was before I swiped right. You found one little thing that I said and you turned it in. Oh, he's 6 foot tall. She's attracted to taller men. For your information, the boyfriend I had before him was 5'6",
How tall are
which is only
you?
2 inches taller than I am. I'm
Uh,
5'4".
Okay. You ever dated a guy shorter than you?
Yes, I have. He was
Okay.
4'11".
You dated a 4'11 guy.
Yes, it was weird. I didn't like
Did you
it. I
meet?
felt like I
Did
had
you
to
meet him?
protect
You
him.
didn't
It was
like
weird.
it. You didn't like
No,
it because you had to protect him. Well, you're coming back. You were running right into my argument.
I'm
Looks are
just saying
coming.
I dated one guy who was shorter than I was. I've dated all other guys have been at least my height or taller.
And you saw all of these guys' pictures and faces, or were they all Pokemon junkies that had no picture? You just saw something else.
Isaac was the only one that I seen with Pokemon.
Right.
And
So you
the
saw these
guys
other
before
guys and their
the,
face.
yes.
Right. So, and you were attracted to them clearly.
Well, I would hope so.
Right. That again goes back to my initial argument, where the first thing that we're seeing is someone's attractiveness. And if we can't, there's other measurements we try to base our judgment with, in this case, his height. You're telling me if he was 4'11 and he had Pokemon on there on his Tinder profile, you still swipe right on him?
Probably.
Probably.
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
I find I find that hard to believe.
Can't
Just off
tell
a
you
poke.
that's not what happened, so I can't tell you if that's what
Okay.
I would or wouldn't do. I make some crazy ass decisions. I can't tell you what decisions I'm gonna make.
Okay, great. But as I was telling you, so I can't speak for you, sure. We'll go with that. But for most men, as I said, the number one thing we look for is a woman's looks, your ass and titties. So, with that being said, if a man is judging you based on that, do you think a woman is judging a man based on that first,
Probably.
or other things come into place based on what you just said, his personality? Would you be in a relationship with him if his personality didn't match with yours, or if you guys didn't click?
No.
Would you fuck him if you guys didn't click?
No.
But he would fuck you if you had the assets he was looking for. That's another
Probably.
secret. That's another secret. I don't know if you know it or not, but that's another secret a man or men in general have.
Yes.
So,
I
so,
will say that that is true.
right. Well, there you go. You work at a strip club. You should know
I'm
that.
sure you can also speak for men. I'm sure that you've been with someone who you were like, her personality is crazy, but like the song says, crazy bitch.
Yeah, you guys are great in bed. You guys fuck good. I get it. I've been with plenty of those. But anyways, that's not the point. So if what attracts a woman to a man is not the same as what attracts a man to a woman, that means clearly there's other major differences between men and women, correct?
Yeah.
So wouldn't you also agree that what you need to figure out in your life and what you are valued by is different than what a man needs to figure out in his life?
Probably.
Then it goes back to our original conversation when you said you would be a hypocrite if you say that I haven't figured out about my life, then why does he have to? Because you guys are living two different lives. You're living a life of a woman and he's living a life of a man. That's why he needs, that's why the elements that he needs in his life that he needs to figure out are different than what you need to figure out in your life. And
Mhm.
that's why I keep asking you about his direction and his purpose in life. But I didn't really ask you too much about those. I asked you mainly about your plan on having a family and how you plan on getting there,
Yeah.
right? So I guess, you know, I definitely hope the best for you. Pray that you get to where you want to be. But I don't agree with the fact that life is supposed to be just figuring it out as you go when you cannot go back in time and start over. And you only have a finite time in this planet because the last thing you want to do, which you might agree with in this point, I'm sure we can see eye to eye on this one, is that you're 70, 80, 90 years old in your deathbed and you're regretting telling yourself, man, I wish I did that. Man, I wish I lived my life that. Man, I planned my life better. Because at that point, the one thing you don't have is time, right?
Yeah. At that point, the one thing I didn't have would be time. But I
So,
also have told myself since I was 13 that I'm never going to make a decision that when I am lying on my deathbed, I will regret. I won't make that decision. I'm sure there will be a couple of things that while I'm lying on my deathbed, I will regret. But
so
there's not my
what are some
life.
of the things that you definitely want in life and how you plan on getting there?
Some things that I definitely want in life. Well, there's only a few things that I definitely want in life, and I already know you ain't gonna like my answer.
No, I don't, it's not about me. It is not about me. This conversation is not about me at all. It's about, when I put it out there, people are going to watch it. They're going to take they're going to learn from your from this conversation, from your answers on if they want to live their life in this way frivolously
Well, I
or
hope
not.
they don't.
You hope they don't.
I hope they don't.
So you don't even like how you're living your life. Is that what you're saying?
It's not that I don't like the way that I'm living my life. It's more of I don't think that anybody else should take the same path that I'm taking.
But you want to be
I,
happy, right?
and the way
And
that I live my life does make me happy. The way that I live my life is what makes me happy. But just what makes me happy does not mean it's going to make anybody else happy. Just
okay, I
because,
mean, that's the point. That's the point of the video is that somebody
yeah.
might watch it and say that, okay, maybe this is what I want to do. So this is not about me. It's about some Joe Schmo from the street finding this and deciding for himself. That's all this is about. So go ahead, continue. So you're saying that some of the things that you definitely want and how you want to get there.
So, number one, I do want to be happy with my life. That's like the number one thing that I want. Number two, I want to make sure that
What
I've
makes you
done
happy? Let's stop at number one. What makes you happy?
unicorns. Like,
Okay, you're not gonna
seeing,
find that, so let's scratch that out.
you see unicorns all the time. Here, look, just seeing this pillow every single day.
You want me to tell you what a unicorn is for a man?
Well, it depends. There's like 30 different definitions, and it's depending on which side of
No, no,
the
no,
street.
for a man. Do you know what a unicorn is for a man or for me?
What?
Well, would be an unicorn is a crazy bitch who can suck the soul out of me and ride me like she's riding a 500-ton cow or bull, and who's not crazy. So she got all the good sides of being a crazy bitch, but not the bad ones, and all the good ones of being a housewife. That would be my
Well,
unicorn.
what's the good definitions of a crazy bitch? What's the good characteristics of a crazy bitch?
I just told you, just fuck good. That's it. That's the only thing.
So, the only good thing that comes from a crazy bitch is good sex.
Exactly. For a
Okay.
man, for her, for society, she might do great things. She might be the next president doing great decisions, but As a man who might be looking for a partner in his life, that is the only thing she can give him, a crazy bitch, because men don't want to deal with crazy. We want peace.
Okay, so if
But we
I
do
went,
want, but hey, but do we
hey,
do
no,
want
no,
great
no,
sex?
no,
We do
no,
want
no, no,
great
no,
sex.
no, you're not jumping over me on this question. If I were to go get my fiance right now and to sit him down and be like, all right, I would like you him to tell y'all I am crazy. I am very distinctively crazy. And there aren't all bad negative things about being crazy. Part of being crazy, you're gonna do some stupid random shit and you're gonna make some epic memories. The only not like talking to you, I feel like you're very closed minded. You feel like everything's a specific way and you feel like people need act a certain way or they only think a certain way. And I think that's super funny. Like if you hadn't noticed me laughing at certain things when you say things, I think it's hilarious because it's not a certain way. You don't have to live one specific way and not everything is down to numbers.
If you
Yeah, the
bring your
numbers are
fiance,
cool.
if you bring your fiance in here, I would tell you first thing first, he's not even a man because he doesn't even know where he's going in his life. He works at Quick Trip as a clerk and he doesn't even have a direction. At least I would give him that as a man, as a token of man, if he at least knew where he wanted to go. At 21 years old, he's a grown ass man and he doesn't even know where he wants to. I'm not shitting on him for working at
So
Quick Trip.
how old are you?
24.
You're 24. What were you doing when you were 21?
In school studying aerospace engineering.
Oh, so you're an aerospace engineer.
Yes, I am.
Nice. Why are you
I'm
on YouTube?
That's my
That
hobby.
doesn't make sense because aerospace engineers tend to be very big book nerds.
Oh, that's a hobby. That's what I said. I don't make money off of YouTube. It's a hobby.
Oh, so you went to
I,
college for a hobby.
no, YouTube is my hobby.
Oh, YouTube is your hobby. Okay,
Right.
sorry. So
And I have no problem him working at Quick Trip because I used to work at
really,
Taco
because you
Bell. I
just
used to work
bashed
at.
him.
I'm telling you my story. I started working at Freddy's. I worked at Subway. I worked at Taco Bell. I work at a few other fast food restaurants. I know the struggle, but I did that till when I was 18, 19. And after that, I figured out where I wanted to go in life. But while I was doing that, I still knew where I wanted to go in life. And that's why I don't shit on people who are starting out. But you need to know where you're going in life as a 21-year-old man, because if you don't
No, you
start
don't.
now,
There are plenty.
okay,
There
so would you say he wants to make money and be
21-year-olds who don't.
successful? No, no, answer this. Would you say he wants to be successful and make money and do great things for himself?
He probably does.
He probably does. Okay, I would venture to say he most likely does. Who doesn't, right? To do that, you need planning. To do that, you need to spend a lot of time to get to that. If you don't start now, if you do start now in your 20s, you're not even going to get there till in your 40s, because the average wealthy person's or successful person's age is late 40s, early 50s, because it takes time. Everything takes time in life, right? So if he hasn't
Yeah,
even
it
started
just,
in his path, if he hasn't even started in his path to get to where he wants to go,
I never said he didn't start. I just said he doesn't know where he's going.
so
You
he hasn't
can not
started.
know
If you do,
where you're going,
if you
and
don't know where you're going, you haven't started.
you can start in plenty of places. You can take guitar lessons and try and be a guitarist. You can take acting lessons to try and be an actor,
Right.
and you
And you know
not
you want to be
become
an
an
actor
actor
or a
because you might
guitarist.
try and be a businessman, but you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know which decision you're going to make. So maybe you're going to business school and you're taking acting classes, but you don't know where you're going to go. You don't know
You're
if
no,
you
no, no,
want
no. You're messing up
to.
two different things here. You're messing up two different things. You're messing up the result with your desire. Your desire is to be a businessman and to get there, but you don't know what the outcome is when you get there.
No, I never said that that was his desire. I said he's going to business school and I'm not saying this is an actual person. I'm saying in theory, you're going to business school
Because you
and
want to be a businessman. You know that's what you want to
you may
do.
not want to be a businessman. You might be also taking career or acting classes, and maybe I kind of want to be a businessman. I wouldn't mind doing that for my job, but I want to try and see if the acting
Okay,
thing's
so you're
gonna
trying out
stop.
different things to see what you like.
Yeah,
What's he
that
trying out?
he got his music lessons going, his vocal lessons going. He has his swimming shit that's going for him too. He's
What
got the
does that
job he
mean?
has
What does
now.
that mean? His license going on. What is he doing with the license with the swimming? Huh?
He's he's just working on his swimming stuff. Well, he was working on his swimming stuff.
Right. What
Look,
is that? What is that?
I can't give you a bunch of information about it because I don't know
Because
who's gonna see this. I don't know.
I mean, what's somebody gonna do if you tell me that he's making money off of swimming somewhere else? Nobody's gonna go and check that. So when you say he's
No.
working towards it, what does that mean? That's very
Well,
arbitrary.
he
Working
was
towards
on
what?
track. What are you trying to get with this interview? Because we've been sitting here going around in circles. You've been throwing shit at me. I've been trying to give you my point. You're not listening to a damn word I have to say to you.
I've listened to everything. Now I'm just trying to give you counterpoints. And it
But
doesn't sound like you're not trying to listen to any of those either.
no, I've listened to your counterpoints, but your counterpoints, they're closed. They're
I'm leaving you with open-ended questions. You still haven't been able to answer. Tell me at least that what your fiance wants to do, and here you are engaged to someone who doesn't even know what he wants to do in life, and you want to see a
I don't,
future with him.
I don't know what I want to do in life. He doesn't know what he
Right.
wants to
And that
do in
goes
life.
back to the other point that we are making, that how you live your life is not how he's gonna live his life. Those you guys are you're going two different
Okay, we're
ways.
two people we both don't know. We came from these two different paths, and right now we're right here. So we can either take
Two
the
lost
choice
people, two lost people are going to figure
yeah,
out what exactly.
where to go. But here's the thing, we're not doing it alone anymore like we had been our entire lives. We didn't know what we were doing at this point when we didn't know each other. That's why we had so many failed relationships. It's why I had so many failed relationships. We didn't know what we had to do.
How
I was
what
never
has he
in a
done in the past 9 months that he wasn't before before he met you?
what do you mean?
You said you guys both came in from two different paths, and now you're gonna figure it out together. So what has he done that he hasn't, that he didn't do? What has he done differently or significantly that he didn't do before he met you in the last 9 months with his
What is
life?
that? What that doesn't have anything to do with what I'm saying.
You just said that you would figure it out together, but it seems like you haven't yet and it's been 9 months already.
Yeah, it's only been 9 months.
Only been 9 months?
Yeah,
Do you know what can happen in 9 months?
a
I
lot
bought
can
I
9
bought
months.
nine I bought nine diff I bought 9 rental units in 9 months. A lot
9
of
months.
shit can happen
A lot of shit can happen in 9 months, but that doesn't mean
if you
that
want it to
shit's
happen.
always going to happen in 9 months.
Right. If you
I could
don't
have
take
had an
incentive,
entire child in the time that we've been together.
exactly. If you don't take steps towards anything, nothing will happen, right?
Yes, but I've never said that we weren't taking steps towards things. I said that we didn't know
You were
where the
talking about
steps
shopping
we were
for
taking were
apartments.
leading
What steps
us.
are you taking?
Carpets?
No,
I
no, I
didn't say
said
anything
you
about
said
carpets.
you said you're shopping for apartments. So what other
Apart
steps what other
yes.
steps have you taken?
We've mostly just been saving up and shopping for apartments. What other steps should we be taking? Since you seem to
Finding
think that
finding
we're
a
not
better
taking the right steps, what steps do you think that we should be taking?
finding a better income source for
My
him.
income source is just fine.
For him. I'm not talking about you.
His income source is just fine.
Okay. So if it's just fine, he wants to do that for the rest of his life.
No, he's working on doing stuff better, but this is what he's got for now. What's so wrong with that?
Nothing's wrong with that, but you are still not able to tell me what his long time plan is or where he sees himself.
I don't know what his
Because he
long time.
doesn't have